What's going on, guys? Satsuki the Savage here, and today I'm going to be reviewing One Piece chapter 938. This was sort of a setup chapter. I would call it more of a cool down chapter because it felt like a break from the action that we've had in previous chapters. So while there was little story progression, there's still some things to talk about. In the same chapter, where we find out Komurasaki is actually Hiyori, which is no surprise to most people. But nonetheless, that was Oda's big reveal. But what are most people talking about? The Zoro slander. Let me motherfucking reiterate it for all the folks that don't know me. Zoro is my favorite One Piece character. Yes, I have a Sanji intro. That doesn't mean he's my favorite. Zoro is my favorite One Piece character. With that being said, the Zoro slander pack is hitting, and it is well deserved. Zoro fainted on some Cardi B shit after suffering a wound from somebody who, like I said before, relative to Zoro, he is fodder. Alright? Kamuzo, the manslayer, is nothing compared to Zoro. I mean, I guess he is something since he made the nigga faint, but he got beat in one chapter. That was the whole point. People kept saying that he was probably going to get back up. No, that didn't fucking happen. So, yeah. I just had to let my frustrations out with that. But he fainted. And honestly, I feel like Oda is downplaying Zoro's endurance. This is the same motherfucker who, pre-time skip, took a direct slash from Dracula Pimp Hand Mihawk. Also, took the pain of Luffy from Kuma. And now you're telling me after a poke from a scythe, he faints? I don't remember the last time Zoro fainted, if that happened at all. Like, please, somebody refresh me the last time Zoro fainted. And I'm not talking about him going to sleep after a big fight. I'm talking about faint, nigga. Faint. He was done after this fight. Yes, he got jumped, but honestly, I'm not seeing how the hell this happened. And then there's people, like, here's my defense of Zoro. This is the only thing I can use to defend Zoro. I'm not trying to be a fanboy, but these are facts. Zoro has been filling himself up with water this whole time in Wano. I mean, he's eating something, but for the most part, he's been drinking water to fill his stomach. So at this point, he's kind of malnourished and he hasn't really had a decent meal. That's one thing. But some people are going out of their way to defend Zoro. They're like, yeah, the manslayer Kamuzo, he used poison weapons. And I'm like, I'm not saying it's not possible, but what the fuck? We didn't get a hint. We didn't get any type of hint of that happening. We didn't have any hint that he's using poison weapons. So people are literally conjuring shit up using head cannons to try to defend Zoro, all right? Again, I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying, bruh, can we at least get some sort of hint before you say some shit like that? And just throwing a hypothetical out there, if it is the case that Zoro somehow got poisoned, I'm putting the blame on Ichiro Oda for not having a simple speech bubble from Komurasaki, aka Hiyori, saying, you got poisoned. It would have been that simple. It would have quelled all the noise. I just don't want to see the Zoro fanboys continuing this damage control, alright? He fainted. Get over it. Now this is more ammo for the Sanji and Zoro debate, which I don't want to participate in ever. But face it, they have more ammo. The Sanji side is grinning ear to ear right now. Moving on, we continue with the plot line of there being a traitor in the resistance. We haven't really had a hint as to who it could be as of yet. I believe it to be a mink simply because this traitor plot line has been relevant since Zou, before we have met all these samurai from Wano. So I believe there is a rat amongst the minks. That remains to be seen. However, I will say it would be really interesting if it was somebody like Kanjuro, Raizo, or even Kinemon. I believe that to be really unlikely, but again, that would be interesting. I just don't believe it's Kyoshiro. He's already shown to have little respect for Orochi. It seems like he has his own ulterior motives because he's faked the death of Komurasaki. So I seriously doubt he's the one who snitched. But it seems One Piece fans aren't the only ones who are trying to figure out who exactly snitched on the resistance, because you have Law and Shinobu bickering in this chapter. And I gotta say, I really like Shinobu's perspective because she's like, yo, your crew got captured. we gotta kill them niggas, like kill the prisoners, all right? Because you don't know what they could say if they get tortured and things of that nature. So I don't really blame her for saying what she said in this chapter. I don't. And of course, Law is going to vouch for his crew. He's going to want to save them. But I just like what Shinobu said in this chapter because it puts us as readers in the perspective of those in Wano who are less fortunate, who don't have the luxury of having food and stable water like the people have in the capital, all right? Because she says, bro, we have waited 20 years for this resistance, and we can't afford to have it all fucked up down the drain simply because your crew can't stop from being captured. All right, Beppo and the rest. Like, I forgot to rant on Beppo. Beppo, you looking hella trash, my nigga. You looking hella trash. I can't defend you, boy. I can't defend you. What can I say to defend you? No, it can't happen. But going back to my point, all right. You have to remember, we are following the Straw Hats, and for us and the Straw Hats, Wano is a pit stop. I know that's a harsh word to describe Wano as, but it's a pit stop. This isn't where their journey ends. But for the citizens, this is the life they have to live. And they have to live with the Orochi being a bitch. They have to live with Kaido wreaking havoc. So for them, there's a lot of stake in this resistance. Way more so than the Straw Hats. And we have Tonoyasu who shows up randomly and is like, yo, Kanjuro, yo, Shinobu, I heard we doing that resistance shit. Like, we with it? Like, the fuck? And this is the dude that everybody calls Zoro's boyfriend, which is funny as fuck. It's funny as fuck. Dude came out of nowhere. It was like, yo, what up, what up? All right, so when we doing this shit? Like, who? Like, what? Apparently he's a samurai. I want to see him fight because he looks hella goofy, and you know how One Piece is. You never really know how strong somebody is because looks are very deceiving in the world of One Piece. But that kind of surprised me. He just showed up and was like, all right, we doing this resistance shit or what? And lastly, we have Zoro, Hiyori, and Otoko. And I want to say, I want Otoko to be executed. I wish she would have died. I don't like her. I'm sorry, I don't. I love the kids, but I don't like her. She is annoying. And with Oda, his comic relief characters are really hit and miss. Either you will love them or you will hate their guts. And Otoko is the latter. I don't like her. I really wish she would have got murked. Straight bullet, straight sword. I don't give a damn. Somebody execute her, all right? She is annoying, nigga. But moving on from that, we see Zoro getting patched up and apparently told oil can instantly heal wounds. Like, all right, whatever. But what I took from Hiyori and Zoro's conversation is that Yokimaru is going to be an important character later on. That was the one thing that Oda set up. Him being an ally to the resistance because he is stockpiling a shit ton of weapons, all right? You really think that those weapons aren't going to be used to help the Straw Hats and the rest of the resistance? Because he is apparently staying at this bridge on some troll shit. Like, literally on some troll shit. So that tells me that he's not trying to aid Orochi because he would be by Orochi's side doing something, designated some type of role, but he isn't. He's just standing by this bridge, robbing niggas. like what? That shit is funny. But yeah, I think Oda set that up so that Gyokimaru will be an ally to the resistance. And on the very last page of the chapter, we find out that Komurasaki is actually Hiyori, which didn't really surprise any of us. Again, we all seen it coming, so I won't really talk about that at all. All right, I do think it will be important later on when Hiyori meets up with Momonosuke in the future, but right now, I don't really see any importance, so I won't talk about it. I will add that there might be some Zoro x Hiyori romance, which that's not going anywhere because it's Oda and he's already stated that he doesn't like romance with the Straw Hats. I mean, the Straw Hats have like people who are attracted to them. Luffy, Hancock, Puddin, Sanji, and Zoro and Hiyori maybe, but nothing's going to happen. We know it's not going to happen, at least not right now. So I'm not going to talk about that. So we're going to end things off right here. Overall, I thought this was an okay chapter. Nothing really happened in terms of story progression, but we did set up a couple of things, so it was an okay chapter. But guys, that's pretty much it for this review. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe. Satsuki the Savage, out.